Hello, lovely ladies and gentlemen. It is the 20th of November, 2020. I cannot believe it's November already. It feels like this year hasn't happened because it hasn't happened. It's 7 a.m. I've been up since 7. Since 7? I'm up since about 5. Because who the hell's sleeping nowadays anyway, right? And I wanted to do some videos for my channel talking about what I think's a really big problem for us artists out there. Obviously, I focus predominantly on music, musicians, composers, sound designers, and things like that. But I know a lot of people who are off stage performers, tenors, opera singers, and performers who haven't been on stage since late March, because in the UK we're yet to reopen such venues. Live music is very much not a thing. Live performance is very much not a thing. And recently I read an article from a band in the UK called Anathema, who, were a successful band, lots of fans, lots of releases, a long career, big back catalogue. But because they can't get on the stage, sell their merch, sell their tickets, and let's face it, the streams, which I'll highlight in this video, are shocking. They're on a hiatus indefinitely and probably signing up for, Uber or, well, even Uber. I can't see that being a thing at the moment. Or working in Sainsbury's, which is just hugely depressing. So I want to try and talk in this video about why I think we're in this problem. And following videos, I'm going to try and offer some new initiatives, let's say I've been introduced to, but it's quite difficult to get your head around, in maybe offering a solution to this, certainly from a musician or perhaps an artist selling digital arts perspective. It's very difficult because all these things are kind of like they affect everything, and I'm talking about it from one perspective, but if I zone back and kind of look at it from a more top-down level, I can see solutions in other like logistics that could work for other disciplines. So let's try and get into this anyway. Let's try and get into this, guys. So this article I found from Producer Hive is awesome. It kind of basically just everything I wanted to say in this video was in this article, which is hugely beneficial. So as this says here, going back to the Anathema example that I gave you, today the majority of modern musicians' income is made up from paid performances, selling merchandise, and earning streaming royalties. So let's break that down, right? Back when I was a youngster, in my reprobate days, going around London and around the UK, around the world really, listening to music, and I'd pay for my gig. I'd have a few beverages, get a bit loose, and I'd buy a load of merch. And that paid for the band, right? That I contributed as men. Everybody contributes in that way, right? Like I say, the stages are closed. There is no paid performances. Bands aren't selling merchandise. There isn't so much of that looseness of on the wallet, and people are watching their pennies, and you're just not gonna. If you've had a great experience, you're gonna want to buy something that marks that experience that you've had. It's just the way human beings are. It's why we take photos, right? So back in the old days, whereas CDs, tapes, vinyls were sold, and as this article highlights, are now a thing of the past, with most people listening to music through a hand-through of online streaming services and platforms in 2020. Now, that I don't have a problem with that. I'm a huge tech guy. As times moved on, I'm pushing back a little bit against tech. Unfortunately, I'm finding problems in the governance of how they're working, and big tech censorship, and just too powerful, and there's lots of problems I have with big tech now, and this is one of them. Back probably in 2010 when I first got my Mac Pro, I wanted to use iTunes. I got my iPhone. I wanted my library available everywhere. I paid for the iTunes Match, I think, which is something like 90 quid a year, and I ripped all my CDs to the computer, and then I had access to them everywhere. I could stream them on the go. So guys, I'm doing it. I've done it, right? Then there was the iTunes Store. And the iTunes Store when I was at university in 2010 was something I focused on quite heavily, because we didn't have Apple Music then, and I could see that while Apple take their 30%, which I think's high, you could sell your album for £7. You'd lose the 30%, but you still could someone would buy that, and you'd see that come into your bank, and you think, right, I'm going to buy a new compressor or sample, or whatever, buy a new guitar. Now, if we look at the new music, because it's not even iTunes anymore, it's been broken into music, film, podcasts, etc., which again, I get, iTunes was getting bloated, it needed to happen. I don't even see a store. You know, there's no button here to like go to store. You know, there's no, it's gone. There's not, you know. Now, I am an Apple Music subscriber, and as my friend pointed out to me the other day, you know, I'm part of the problem. But, you know, you can still get to the store. There's my release, Bewailing Under the Eastern Skies. If I right-click on it and I go show in iTunes Store, it will show me I can buy that for 79 pence. You know, that would be some cash into my wallet, even if it was 79p from one listener. But as you can see, it's not, you know, it's not present. Now, if I didn't have Apple Music, I'm pretty sure it would come up straight away with a great big screen saying join Apple Music, etc. But the store's gone, guys. The store's on its way out, and this is a problem, because let's look at this, right? Let's look at this website. So I put in this streaming calculator that if I had 1,000 streams of one of my songs, I would get $4 from Amazon Music at a rate of 0.00402 cents per stream, $7.83 from Apple, 0.00783 cents per stream. Tidal higher, $12.84 for 0.01284 per stream. This one amuses the hell out of me. Napster. You know, Napster, you could blame Napster for creating this problem, in the sense that they were the, you know, back in the day you could illegally download a piece of music from their platform, you know, and it kind of did push this MP3 phenomena on the world, and they're now come back and they're paying the most, 0.19 cents per stream, which you get $19 for 1,000 streams. Not terrible. These are $6.40. Pandora's not even worth talking about. $1.33 per 1,000 streams. The platform, in my opinion, shouldn't exist. YouTube Music coming in at $8, you know, which is more than Apple Music, which is a problem. Google Music 7, and Spotify, again, not even worth talking about. 0.00318 cents per stream. If you think about this in terms of the the older world model, based on my 1,000 streams, right? Let's just say you were selling your CD for £5, and you sold that 1,000 times, right? That's $5,000. So if you split that, say your band's got 5 people in it, you know, £1,000 each. It's not bad. It's not bad for a day's pay, right? You know, whereas if you're looking at Spotify, you know, your 1,000 streams is going to get you $3. I can't see a lucrative way that a musician's going to make any money at all from this. You know, and perhaps the big hitters, the popular culture music, which I as each day goes on, I tend to despise more and more. Maybe they can make some cash, but for the majority of us, it's just not a thing. You know, and if we break it down, I think this tells me in this article as well. Bearing in mind, guys, these rates change constantly, right? It always changes. Like I say, Apple at one point, even when they released Apple Music, I was quite supportive of, because their rate was high. It was crap, but it was higher, and I thought, well, you know, okay, at least there's something coming into our pockets, right? But if you look at this, Spotify pays between 0.003 cents and 0.005 cents per stream. Wow. And then, you know, I'm going to go on a little bit of a Spotify rant here. You know, Spotify to offer artists and labels the option to promote their music in your recommendations in exchange for a lowered promotional recording royalty rate. Really? Okay, guys, so you're paying me between 0.003 and 0.005 cents per stream, and you want me to take a lowered promotional recording royalty rate fee to show some people my music. Yeah, okay. From a promotional aspect, that I suppose if you view Spotify purely as a way for people to find your music, fine, do it. But from a lucrative you know, you know, again, guys, going back to, the opening of this article, paid performances, selling merchandise, earning royalty streams, it's gone. It's a thing of the past. And my problem with Spotify as well is that, when they did their IPO, when they went public, it was done from offset, from the very start. It was done based on public opinion and not based on accounts. And if we look at, it's probably boring some of you, but if you look at this, when they started off, their EPS, which is their earnings per share, which means basically their share price against their actual accounts, was high, right? It was low, but it was at least 23 cents. Now, if we look at it in terms of 2030, Spotify are down $1.60 per share, which means that their share price, the public opinion of them is higher than what their company is actually worth. Which happens to all companies, it's not. This isn't specific to Spotify, but it's just it goes to show you basically that the worth people think the company is not reflective of what they're actually making in terms of their accounts, because they charge next to nothing for a Spotify membership, and they pay next to nothing out, but their shareholders, CEOs, and directors bank loads from their share dividends. Anyway. So this is a problem. This is an issue to me. And you can see how bands are struggling. Especially without these two things here. And you could argue with me and say, well, what about Bandcamp? And don't get me wrong, I love Bandcamp. I have bought things on Bandcamp, and even back on iTunes, if there was a band like one of my mates' bands or a band I really liked, I would buy the actual release, even though I had Apple Music. And I think the Bandcamp community is awesome, and they did a lot for us, waiving their 15%, and that is still a way which people can buy music and merchandise directly on the platform. Aurora Eclipse Productions does have a Bandcamp account, and we've had some sales through there, and it's been awesome and great. So Bandcamp are still there, but again, I would say fall into this collector's sphere, and it's something I'll talk about in the follow-up video when I start talking about a new blockchain solution that I've been just introduced to, and bear with me as I explain that next video, because some of it does not make sense. I will take this opportunity to ask for some support if you can. If you head over to michaelwbell.co.uk/donate, you'll see a variety of ways you can help me out, but if not, just do share the video, guys. It helps me a lot and I appreciate it. Which leads me on to another thing, is like advertisement. If we think about people doing YouTube, or even people on the free Spotify plan, advertisement is paying for a lot of stuff, and it's a problem for me. It's like, right now I'm not being paid for doing this video. Looking at these figures, I'm being paid from an advertisement, putting an advertisement on my channel, or if someone goes and listens to a Skyquaker track, or I see or Michael W. Bell track on Spotify, advertisements paying for that. And that, I'd rather be being paid for the actual thing that I'm doing rather than a third party. It seems very It seems very odd to me, but that's the world that we're currently living in. So yeah, that basically is something I wanted to highlight, in the fact that we've lost the iTunes store, even though they had their 30%. These stream rates are just a joke. Again, Napster is high, but I wonder if their platform was to get bigger, would that rate go down, as did with Apple? Apple were never that high, but did it? But I just think, when we talk about Spotify, if you're talking about 10,000 plays on Spotify and you receive roughly $40, and then if there's 4 members in your band, you're going to be getting $10 each. It's just not acceptable to me. So I am viewing these platforms as primarily a promotional thing. I don't view them as a lucrative way of making cash. So we've got to look at what we can do. I've pressed vinyls. I have vinyls up for sale. We have merchandise over the Aurora Eclipse Productions website. If you wanted to jump over there and help us out, there is a shop which I will show you. Shop. So yeah, you can break down by artist. You can break down. APL has also got his own merchandise, and this is all great, you know. And this is a good thing about the world that we're currently living in. The next thing I want to talk to you about in a follow-up video is Rareable, which is an audio NFTs. I'll show you a little bit of this now, but I'm going to be breaking this into a next video where I talk about potentially how we could, you know, take back a little bit of control, say, over our art. And as we move into this digital, you know, this digital world isn't going away, you know, and I don't expect it to, and in many ways I don't want it to, you know. I do have my time sitting there kind of talking about the heydays, and I wish everything just went back the way it was, but you know, that doesn't seem to be the case, especially while we're closed and locked down. So I've just been spending my time trying to find some alternative ways in which we could make some money, and the NFTs are going to be one. So look out for that video, guys. Hopefully it's going to be up either later today or early tomorrow afternoon. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it's not too much of a misery, but I know a lot of you guys in the music world already knew about this, but I do hope that if someone from outside the music world finds this video, stumbles across it, you know, you'll realise the strife we are kind of in, and maybe it make people change their listening habits, or you know, consider things like Bandcamp. While it's still there, consider buying from iTunes, from the iTunes store, you know, and look out to try and support and help you know, bands and artists and indie labels, because we're all struggling through this. And I look forward to catching you guys in the next video. Take care.